Hello Capsuleer, my name is Gildy and welcome to EVE Online. Every day at least a dozen of barges and exhumers are destroyed to ganks. Only you can prevent unnecessary barge destruction. Jokes aside, this is true. Every single day, just in Hisec alone, where Concord is reacting to ganks, people keep losing ships to gankers, get frustrated, set back on their profits, or rage quit. This video is not here to tell you you are doing things wrong or that your way of playing is not valid, but rather give you something to consider, ways to counter ganks and thrive while doing what you like. Let's start by looking through some Zkillboard listings to see what connects those. First, you can see right now tells you a story of greed. There is one single compact hardener in that fit for tank, but high slots are filled with ore strip miners for faster and faster mining, making a 57 million hull with 22,000 effective hit points, a 441 million ISK line on Zkill. Gankers will go for people with low tank and high value modules because if they get lucky and those drop, they would have gotten not only their catalyst cost back, but also earn on top of that. Next, similarly to the first one, a retriever that pushes just raw shield HP in rig slots, which is better than no tank at all, but going for full mining speed in low slots, and for some reason an afterburner and a service scanner in mid slots makes this fit have just 1,500 EHP more than the previous ship we saw. Now, let's take a look at another hull type, which is one of the most popular due to mining speed it has, but also the least tanked. This pilot was so preoccupied with getting their mining power that they didn't even put any mid-slots into the ship and got less than 17,000 EHP with this. It took just 2 catalysts to get this coveter down. Lastly, we have another coveter pilot that actually tried to save themselves, but took a completely wrong approach to doing so and took a shield booster on board. Therefore, it still took just 2 catalysts to take this ship down. So, what all of those have in common? That's right, ignoring tank and going for anything but it. So, full mining speed, movement speed, and the dreaded service scanner. And before you start typing angrily that I'm bad-mouthing your way of playing the game, that you should be able to play however you like, hear me out. Let me take a few minutes of your time, show you my way of thinking, and what I noticed about what gankers go for, and how to increase your survivability so you can form your own opinion off of that. Barges are clunky, slow, unruly things, that is something we can all agree on. This is also why it's so easy to gank them, because you can warp to a belt and then still burn through several kilometers to get in range before a barge warps off. I will get into the details of exact things you can do to avoid gankers, but the main rule I follow is that you don't have to be the most tanky and prepared. You just need to be ahead of several people that will be easier targets for the gankers. That is of course because a lot of people won't prepare at all. If they would, getting more and more tanky barges would force Hisec pirates to start taking more and more losses on their own ganks and simply make it not profitable for them. How do you prepare yourself then to make it harder and harder for gankers to get you, and as a consequence of that, save your risk on having to replace your ship? First of all, consider what ship to take and how to tank it. In a fleet of covetors and hulks, having a retriever or Mackinaw will already put you in a better tanked position and make you a lower priority target for gankers. Some of those ships I showed you went through Udama, did not have anything of value on them, they were just passing by, but since their tank was so low, gankers just pop those for fun to harvest salt in local, as people do get very salty about ganks in Hisec. The fix for this is really simple. Drop that one mining laser upgrade, swap it to damage control 2, and forget about shields and rig slots for barges. Real men tank in hull. Of course, put the shield harness and shield extenders in your mid slots, because the more tough spots in your ships to crack for the gankers, the better. Shield boosters make no sense for those ships, because in the few seconds you will have to survive, you might be able to cycle them once or twice, which is really not that impressive compared to being able to add 5,000 effective HP to your ship. do make sure to train at least one level in thermodynamics as well. This allows you to overheat your shield hardness, giving you extra effective shield HP before your shields run out. Then forget about the afterburners. Those ships are slow and are supposed to be slow. If you are on a moonbelt and see that you run out of rocks in your mining range, go warp to that moon mining beacon, then back to other rocks. It's still going to be faster. And if you mine regular belts, either anticipate rocks in your range running out and start slowly moving your ship before they do, or just take that 1 minute of not mining while you reposition. It's that simple. And for the love of Bob, please ditch the service scanner. It has to be the most useless module I see on all of those kill mails. Half, if not more people that go out mining in barges carry these modules just to mine while AFK or semi-AFK, so they are not checking the rocks to know when exactly to cut the lasers to save on time. Mining is not that competitive and not an activity for min-maxing ISK. If you want to get as much ISK as you want, there is literally anything else in EVE that will give you better ISK per hour than high-sec mining, and it can also be more fun with friends. So do yourself a favor and tank your barges properly when you pull up a YouTube video or go watch a movie while mining, because if you do so, you will not have to replace your ganked ships, and each of those lost barges is potential minus 50 or more million ISK, which could have been avoided. I will leave a link to a fleet on EVE Workbench that has well-tanked barges and exhumers I came up with for this video. Even the Covetor fit I came up with there has over 29,500 effective HP, meaning that it is tankier than some of the retrievers you saw earlier on the Zkillboard, and it can still mine well. Why does that matter though? Surely Gankers will just bring more ships and still blow you up, no? It depends. If the Gankers will try to get you even in that Covetor, if they didn't scan you, they will just throw 2 catalysts at you at most, because that's what you need to get a Covetor kill 99% of the time. But if you tank that barge properly, they can fail, and you keep your barge while also knowing that they are roaming around your area and trying to get you, so you can swap to a well-tanked procurer, making them lose interest. If they did scan you, they will either let you go because you're not worth it, or still get you if they have ships available, but I will mention being scanned and situational awareness in a later point. Another thing I want to touch on is that if you like to mine in fleets, you have a friend that flies an Orca, or you got your own boosting ult, you can use that to your advantage as well. Orca, without having to sacrifice any rigs, can fit 3 boosting modules. Have the Orca ditch the 3rd mining foreman module and instead get a shield boost. Then if your barges focus on shield resists, shield extension charges will be best for maximizing their EHP. If you lack the resistances, shield harmonizing charge is best. And if you usually have more than one Orca on grid, like in the case of moonbelts, people sometimes whip out several. Instead of spreading them on the whole belt to cover them with mining boosts, you can have one fit for mining boosting, while the other for maximum trolling of any ganker that comes over. Those boosts can drastically increase the chances of survival of all the ships in the fleet. Next, if you can, spend some time mining while not completely AFK. Take a note of locals that run around the system, check if someone doesn't consistently jump to belts, seemingly trying to look for rats for their dailies, but is maybe trying to passively scan fittings of the ships on said belt. If you see any suspicious people, ganking scouts, make sure to tag them with bad standings. If you are part of a corporation, report it to the CEO or directors and ask them for standings to be set, which will benefit all of you. That way, you will be able to, if you are at the PC at the moment, realize that something is wrong and that a ganking group just entered the system, so you might be able to hit warp and save your ship before they warp into your belt. If you are new to the game, you might want to tag the following groups as they are known for ganking: Code, Safety, Safety Net, Novus Ordo. If you have any others that roam around your areas, drop them in the comments to help others build up their base of standings. Also, there are some scanning ults that will catch you on gates and look through your fitting while using a passive targeter, so you cannot see that they did lock you right away. Look for people lingering in frigates on gates. You can see one of those in my micro-warp drive cloak jump trick video, which will pop up on the screen right now. If you figure out who they are, you can tag them, which will make your traveling safer and make you more aware of what are you carrying and where. Lastly, do not give gankers any salt. If they get your ship, warp your pod off, get off grid and move on. I get it, it is frustrating, infuriating even. Log off for a bit, then think about what can you do to not get caught next time. But no matter what, do not talk to them in local. They just wait for that to bait you into more anger, just to reply to your tirade with a calm down miner, and then screenshot your messages or put them in their bios to boast how pro they are. And that is it for this week. Stay safe out there, upgrade your barge fittings and deny gankers their fun. If you enjoyed this video, share it with a corp mate that might need it, leave a like and subscribe to see my future uploads. If you are interested in what I will talk about next, my videos go up every Sunday. And if we never see each other in space again, Capsulia, fly safe.